What if I told you the most insane action game of 2026 isn't from a massive studio? It's from a small Chinese developer called S-Game. Phantom Blade Zero just hit #1 on Steam before it even launched. And after spending serious time with this game, I completely understand why. In this video, I'm walking you through the full gameplay, the combat, the weapons, the world, and whether this game actually lives up to the insane hype. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the gameplay, let's quickly talk about what this game is actually about, because the story setup is genuinely one of the most interesting things about it. You play as Soul. He's an elite assassin working for a secretive organization called the Order. And from the very beginning, everything goes wrong. Soul gets framed for the murder of his own master. His heart gets destroyed in the process. And now he has just 66 days to live. 66 days to clear his name. 66 days to unravel the conspiracy. 66 days before he dies. And that ticking clock changes everything about how this game feels. Every mission, every fight, it all has weight to it. The world is called the Phantom World, a dark wuxia setting that mixes ancient Chinese martial arts with a kind of steampunk machinery. They're calling it Kung Fu Punk. And honestly, it works. The world feels completely unique, unlike anything I've played before. Okay, let's talk about what everyone is actually here for, the combat. And I'm going to say this straight. This is some of the best feeling combat I have played in years. It is fast, it is brutal, and it rewards you for being aggressive. Soul carries 2 primary weapons and 2 secondary weapons at any time. Your primary weapons are all blades, and each one plays completely differently. You've got fast dual blades for quick combos, heavier swords for big damage, and some absolutely wild weapons I won't spoil here. Each weapon has what the game calls a power surge, basically an ultimate ability that charges up as you fight. Timing these feels incredible when you pull it off right. But here's what really sets this combat apart. The Phantom Edges? These are special abilities tied to your weapons that let you do things like slow time, phase through enemies, or unleash devastating area attacks. Mixing your Phantom Edges with your regular combos is where the real skill expression comes in, and the enemies are no joke either. Every enemy type has its own attack patterns you need to learn. Just button mashing will get you killed fast. You need to read your enemy, find your opening, and hit hard. The combat has a weight to it that's hard to explain in words. You really just need to see it. So watch this clip right here. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about the world, because Phantom Blade Zero is absolutely stunning to look at. The Phantom world is dark and moody, but also full of color and detail. Rain-soaked alleyways, ancient temples, mechanical fortresses. Every area feels handcrafted and purposeful. Exploration is more linear than open-world games. This isn't Elden Ring, where you can wander anywhere, but every path feels carefully designed. There are hidden paths, secret items, and lore pieces scattered everywhere for players who take their time. The enemy placement feels intentional too. Every encounter teaches you something about the combat system. The game is constantly pushing you to get better without it feeling unfair. And the music, I have to mention the music. It blends traditional Chinese instruments with a darker electronic edge. It fits the Kung Fu Punk aesthetic perfectly and makes every fight feel even more intense. Let's talk bosses, because this is where Phantom Blade Zero really shows what it's made of. Every boss is a masterclass in design. They're not just big enemies with more health. Each one has multiple phases, unique attack patterns, and moments that will genuinely surprise you. The first time I hit a boss's second phase, I actually said out loud, "Wait, what?" I'm not going to spoil too much here, because discovering these bosses fresh is part of the experience. But I will say this, If you like difficult but fair boss fights in the style of Sekiro or Devil May Cry, you are going to love what this game has to offer. Watch how this boss fight goes. Pay attention to how the attack patterns shift in the second phase. Did you see that? The way it transitions, the way the music changes, the way you have to completely rethink your approach. That is game design at a high level. One of the things I love most about Phantom Blade Zero is the weapon variety. The game has over 30 weapons, and they're not just reskins of each other. Each weapon genuinely changes how you play. Early on, I was running a fast dual blade setup, all about speed and quick combos. But then I found a heavier blade that hits so hard it staggers even large enemies. Completely changed my approach. There are also phantom edges tied to different weapons that create completely different playstyles. You can build around aggressive, all-out attacks, or you can play more defensively, waiting for counters. The game supports both. My personal recommendation for beginners: start with a balanced weapon. Get comfortable with the dodge and counter system first before you try to get fancy with phantom edges. Once you've got the basics down, then experiment. That's when the game really opens up. By the time you unlock your third or fourth weapon type, you'll understand why this game has people so excited. The build variety alone gives this massive replay value. So, is Phantom Blade Zero worth it? Here's my honest take after spending serious time with this game. The combat is exceptional. The world is gorgeous. The boss fights are some of the best I've experienced in recent memory. And the story, while not the deepest, has enough mystery and momentum to keep you pushing forward. Is it perfect? No. The early game can feel a little slow before you unlock more weapons and abilities, and if you're not a fan of learning enemy patterns and dying a few times, the difficulty curve might frustrate you at first. But if you love tight, skill-based action games, this is absolutely one of the best of the year. The hype is real. S-Game has delivered something special here. Phantom Blade Zero launches October 2026 on PS5 and PC. Pre-orders are live right now. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. I'll be covering Phantom Blade Zero extensively as we get closer to launch, including tips, boss guides, and weapon tier lists. Drop a comment below. Are you picking this up on PS5 or PC? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you out, like really does help the channel grow. Subscribe so you don't miss the next Phantom Blade Zero video, and I'll catch you there.